So you've been spending time with Advaita Vedanta, right?
Yeah.
Really getting into that idea of Brahman
Yeah.
as that ultimate reality in the world.
Yeah.
As Maya, an illusion.
Right.
But maybe you're curious about some other perspectives on non-duality.
Right.
Well, buckle up because today's deep dive takes us to the world of Kashmiri Shaivism,
Right.
sometimes called Trika Shaivism.
Okay.
It's a school of thought that arose in the stunning landscapes of Kashmir.
Yeah.
And it offers a really unique perspective on non-duality.
It does.
In fact, you could even say that it provides a powerful critique
Yeah.
of some core Advaita Vedanta concepts.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say for sure.
I'm already intrigued.
Great.
Let's jump in.
Yeah.
One of the big things I remember from studying Advaita Vedanta is this concept of Brahman, this unchanging, all-encompassing reality.
Right, right.
How does Kashmiri Shaivism view this ultimate reality?
So instead of Brahman, Kashmiri Shaivism posits Paramashiva as this ultimate reality.
Okay.
But here's the key difference.
Okay.
Paramashiva isn't static or impersonal.
Oh.
Imagine it more like a dynamic force. Rimming with consciousness and actively involved in creation.
So not just some distant, uninvolved force.
Not at all.
Okay.
And that's where Shakti comes in.
Okay.
In Kashmiri Shaivism, Paramashiva doesn't just sit back and observe.
Right.
He uses his inherent power, Shakti, to actively manifest the universe.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Shakti.
Yeah.
Isn't that often considered part of the illusion?
Yeah.
Maya
Right.
in Advaita Vedanta?
Precisely. And that's a major point of departure.
Okay.
In Kashmiri Shaivism, Shakti isn't some sideshow.
Okay.
She's absolutely essential. Forget the illusion.
Right.
The world, this dynamic interplay of energy and consciousness is real.
Okay.
It's tangible. It's a direct expression of Paramashiva's power.
So we're not talking about escaping the world or seeing through some veil of illusion here.
Not the same way.
What does that mean for how we understand our own lives, our experiences, even our struggles?
It changes the game completely.
Okay.
So in Advaita Vedanta, the goal is often described as realizing your oneness with Brahman.
Okay.
Essentially negating the individual self and transcending the world of Maya.
Right, to kind of dissolve that illusion of separateness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in Kashmiri Shaivism, the world isn't something to be transcended.
Okay.
It's seen as a divine playground.
Okay.
A Layla.
Okay.
The goal isn't to escape, but to recognize yourself as Shiva within that play.
So instead of negating the individual self,
Right.
you're embracing it.
More than embracing it.
Okay.
You're recognizing that individual consciousness is not separate from the divine.
Okay.
It's a spark of Shiva's universal consciousness, a vital part of the cosmic dance.
That's a pretty powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It makes me wonder how this changes the way Kashmiri Shaivism approaches liberation. Or moksha.
So in Advaita Vedanta, liberation is often about realizing that ultimate oneness with Brahman through knowledge meditation and discriminating between the real and the unreal.
Right. You use your intellect to see through the illusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in Kashmiri Shaivism, liberation is about something called pratyabhina, which means self-recognition.
Self-recognition, okay.
It's about awakening to your inherent divinity.
Okay.
Realizing that you are already Shiva, not by escaping the world, but by recognizing your true nature within it.
So it's not about achieving something you lack, but rather uncovering something that's already there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the path to this self-recognition is less about intellectual understanding and more about direct experience. It's about embodying the truth of, I am Shiva.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about just reading scriptures or sitting on a meditation cushion.
Kashmiri Shaivism definitely values those practices.
Okay.
But it also incorporates techniques that engage the body and senses. It's about integrating all aspects of your being on this journey of self-discovery.
So how does this direct experience of self-recognition actually happen? What does it look like?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Kashmiri Shaivism describes a spontaneous process of awakening, where the illusion of separation falls away.
Okay.
And you experience the world and yourself through the eyes of Shiva.
Okay. I definitely want to hear more about that. But first, I'm curious about how this active world-embracing perspective squares with Advaita Vedanta's concept of Maya.
Right.
It seems like there might be some tension there.
There is indeed.
Okay.
And that's where some of Kashmiri Shaivism's strongest critiques of Advaita Vedanta come in.
Okay.
We'll unpack that next. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's definitely some philosophical friction when we bring Kashmiri Shaivism's view of reality up against Advaita Vedanta's concept of Maya.
So let's unpack that a bit. What's the problem from a Kashmiri Shaivism perspective with calling the world an illusion?
Well, if the world is fundamentally unreal, just a smoke and mirrors show, how do we approach life? Does it lead to a sense of detachment or even a lack of engagement?
Yeah, I can see how that might happen. Like, why bother putting effort into anything if it's all just an illusion?
That's one of the critiques that Kashmiri Shaivism levels at Advaita Vedanta. They argue that by labeling the world as Maya, as an illusion, you create a separation between the divine and the world, a duality that Advaita Vedanta is aiming to move away from.
It sounds like instead of seeing the world as part of the divine, you end up rejecting it.
Exactly. And that rejection has implications for how we approach our experiences, relationships, creativity, even our struggles.
So how does Kashmiri Shaivism navigate that?
Well, remember, for them, the world is a real, tangible expression of Paramashiva's creative power. Right. This means that all our experiences, even the difficult ones, are infused with meaning and purpose. They're not random events or illusions to be ignored, but opportunities for growth, for learning, and for deepening our connection to the divine.
So even challenging times, the darker aspects of reality are part of this divine dance.
Precisely. And this is where the concept of the 5 kanchukas, or coverings of consciousness, comes in.
Okay.
These coverings veil our awareness of our true nature as Shiva.
Okay, tell me more about these coverings.
Imagine layers like veils obscuring a light. The outermost layer is Annamaya Kosha, the physical body.
Okay.
Moving inwards, we have Pranamaya Kosha, related to vital energy, Manomaya Kosha, associated with the mind, Vijnanamaya Kosha, the realm of wisdom and intuition, and finally Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss body closest to our true nature.
So as these coverings thin, our awareness expands.
Exactly. Through practice and grace, these layers can be peeled away, revealing our inherent divinity. It's a process of unveiling, of recognizing that we are not separate from Paramashiva, that we are participants in this vibrant cosmic dance.
This reminds me of the concept of pratyabhina, that spontaneous recognition of the self as Shiva.
They're intimately connected. Pratyabhina isn't just intellectual understanding. It's a direct experience, a flash of insight that shatters the illusion of separation. And it's not something that we achieve through sheer willpower.
Okay.
Grace plays a significant role.
Grace, so it's not all up to us.
Kashmiri Shaivism acknowledges the role of individual effort. But it also recognizes that ultimately this recognition is a gift, a descent of grace from Paramashiva.
It's like a dance where we make the steps, but the music comes from somewhere else.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And this brings us to a key distinction in how Kashmiri Shaivism and Advaita Vedanta approach knowledge and self-realization. Remember how in Advaita Vedanta, the emphasis is on using your intellect to discriminate between the real and the unreal, to negate the ego through study and meditation.
Right, a very intellectual and analytical approach.
Yes, but in Kashmiri Shaivism, the path to pratyabhina is more direct, more intuitive. It's about awakening to your own divine nature, not through dissecting reality with your mind, but by directly experiencing it.
Okay.
It's less about negating the ego and more about recognizing that the ego itself is part of this divine dance.
So it's less about thinking your way to enlightenment and more about having a direct encounter with the divine within yourself.
Exactly. Kashmiri Shaivism describes the path to liberation as a process of recognition, not attainment. And this recognition is often facilitated by practices that go beyond just sitting and meditating.
So what kinds of practices are we talking about?
Well, they incorporate a rich tapestry of techniques that engage the body senses and emotions. Everything from mantra meditation and visualization to practices that cultivate a deep awareness of energy and breath.
Wow.
It's about integrating all aspects of our being on this journey of self-discovery.
This all sounds incredibly rich and nuanced. I have to admit, the idea of embracing the world as a divine play and recognizing my own inherent divinity is really resonating with me, but I still have questions. If the world isn't an illusion, how does Kashmiri Shaivism address the suffering, the pain, and the injustice we see around us?
Right.
If it's all part of this divine dance, does that mean we should just passively accept it?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of how Kashmiri Shaivism sees the interplay of Shiva and Shakti in the universe.
Okay.
And we can delve into that right now.
So we've been talking about how Kashmiri Shaivism embraces the world as a real and divine expression of Paramashiva's energy.
Yeah.
But let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The world can be a tough place.
They can be.
Full of suffering and injustice, if it's all part of this divine dance.
Right.
Does that mean we should just passively accept it?
That's a question that really grapples with the very heart of Kashmiri Shaivism.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the interplay of Shiva and Shakti.
Okay.
Remember, Shiva is that unchanging ground of being, pure consciousness.
Okay.
While Shakti is that dynamic force of creation and transformation.
It's a dancer in the dance.
Yeah.
But how does this dynamic explain the not-so-fun parts of life?
Well, think of it this way. Just like a dance can have moments of stillness and moments of intense movement, the universe also has its ebbs and flows.
Oh, okay.
The challenging times, the darkness, the suffering.
Yeah.
These are not mistakes or anomalies.
Okay.
They're part of the natural rhythm of the cosmic dance.
So it's like saying that you can't have light without darkness.
Yeah, exactly.
Joy without sorrow.
You got it.
Okay.
They're not separate opposing forces, but different aspects of the same reality.
Okay.
And it's through experiencing the full spectrum of this dance, the light and the shadow, that we grow and evolve.
That's a pretty different perspective than just trying to transcend the world and its challenges.
It is.
So how does this world-embracing view affect our actions?
Right.
Does it mean we shouldn't try to alleviate suffering or fight for justice?
Not at all. Remember, Shakti is the force of transformation.
Right.
It's the energy that drives creation, destruction, and renewal. And as participants in this cosmic dance, we're not meant to be passive observers.
Okay.
We have a role to play in shaping the world around us.
So action and engagement are actually part of the divine play.
Absolutely. In fact, Kashmiri Shaivism talks about Icha Shakti, the power of will, as one of the key expressions of Shakti. It's the energy that drives us to act, to create, to make a difference in the world.
So it's not about denying or escaping the world's challenges.
Right.
But about using our will, our Icha Shakti, to engage with them and contribute to positive change.
Precisely. And this brings us back to the concept of pratyabhina self-recognition.
Right.
In Kashmiri Shaivism, even in the midst of suffering, even when things feel overwhelming, we're encouraged to remember our true nature as Shiva.
So even when surrounded by chaos, there's this underlying awareness of our own divinity.
Exactly. The challenges we face don't diminish our inherent nature. They simply provide a context for us to express it more fully. It's like a dancer who, even when faced with a difficult step, never forgets the rhythm of the music.
It's about finding that inner strength, that connection to our divine essence, even in the face of adversity.
Precisely. And that's where the practice of pratyabhina becomes so powerful. It's not just a one-time realization, but a continuous process of remembering, of realigning ourselves with our true nature.
This has been such a fascinating exploration.
It has.
Kashmiri Shaivism offers a truly unique perspective on non-duality. One that embraces the world in all its complexity.
It does.
And calls us to participate in the divine dance. Not as passive observers, but as active co-creators.
I like that.
Well, for our listeners, if you'd like to dive deeper into the world of Kashmiri Shaivism, we'll include some resources in the show notes.
Great.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.